What is the definition of rich in India? The very word rich, Amir, Daulatmand, or Dhanwan, all these words are so aspirational that if anybody would like to be in that very league, who are rich people in India? How is it defined? Is it 1% club, as is referred in many countries where you need to be among the 1% in wealth hierarchy to be called rich? There is no clear definition of rich, and even Google defines it loosely as someone having lot of money or property. In India, wealth inequality is so high that top 1% of population holds more than 42% of national wealth, and top 10% hold 77% of national wealth. It is hence assumed that India's top 10% are rich and top 1% are super rich, right? That ironically is not true. And forget top 10%, even top 1% are not necessarily the lot who have got enough wealth to splurge. After all, India is a country where the wealth is further concentrated up the chain, and only 0.1% Indians hold 29% wealth as per World Inequality Lab report. There is no clear definition of rich, but various economists have used different benchmarks to define rich, and assessment is based on three key determinants that are used: income as benchmark, net worth as benchmark, and financial freedom as benchmark. But before we discuss the concept of rich in detail, I have a request to make. Please subscribe and share the channel among your friends and family. We as a media company are really working hard to decode such complex topics and simplify it for you. We are not funded by any vested interest that could compromise our editorial integrity, nor do we sell or promote anything tacitly, and hence it is important that you subscribe and support us. Let's first see who all are rich in India in terms of income as the benchmark. The annual income of an average Indian is rupees 2.35 lakh per annum. The bottom 50% earns only rupees 71,163. The middle 40% earns 1.65 lakh, and the top 10% earns 13.53 lakh, and the top 1% earns 53 lakhs. The top 0.1% earns 2.25 crore. The top 0.0% earns who are nearly 1 lakh, less than 1 lakh people, they earn more than 10 crore, and the top 0.001% earns 48 crore annually. Now all these statistics would make you depressed, right? It's an economy where even a meager salary of rupees 25,000 a month keeps you in top 10% of Indians in terms of earning. Forget 25,000 as the low entry point. Even the top level of 10% Indians who earn 13.53 lakh yearly, or roughly 1,12,000 per month, ask anyone living in top tier city whether this is enough to sustain even a middle class life along with family. Middle class does not exist in India, my friend. Most of the Indians, assuming themselves as middle class, are just above the poverty, just above the absolute poverty, that is seeking free government ration and subsidies. Those wage earners in top 10% are at best in the economic zone of relative poverty. Are top 1% rich? After all, they earn 53 lakh Well, that again depends upon the critical factors, including the city where you live, your family size, and your overall expenses. Say, for instance, someone earning 53 lakh rupees in a city like Mumbai gets roughly around 3 lakh in hand salary, depending upon income tax and other standard deductions. Now, in a city like Mumbai, if you have parents, children, and a family to support and a running home loan, then the given salary, by the way, they call it package or CTC as fancy name, it's not enough to splurge in Mumbai. In Mumbai, no house is available below 2 crore, and for that, you need an EMI of around 1.5 lakhs per month. But maybe technically in top 1% of India, but not rich. I personally know many Indians that take home salary of 3 lakhs but living a paycheck to paycheck life. They are definitely not rich. More importantly, high income and high expenses have made even many celebrities go broke. Lifestyle inflation is a biggest killer of wealth. You are not free, but slave to your job to sustain your life. Rich in India in terms of income is mostly a comfortable life, but nothing lavish. So income alone cannot define whether one is rich or not. This is because with the same yearly salary of say 10 to 13 lakhs, one may be single while the other person may be having a family to support. So income might be just an indicator. It does not prove conclusively whether one is rich or not. This brings us to the second benchmark of evaluation of rich, net worth as benchmark. Net worth is a far better benchmark to assess who is rich because it alleviates the load burden factor of income as a benchmark. But one has to be careful here in calculating the net worth. People in India generally assume every possession as net worth. Possession is not necessarily your net worth. It could be your liability also. Possession is not necessarily your asset. It could be your liability as well. For instance, if you have a house worth 1 crore, but there is a home loan of 80 lakhs against it, so you have a running liability of roughly around 1.5 crore over the next 20 years. Asset is your possession minus the liability, and that possession could qualify as an asset only if it is an appreciating asset. A car, even without a loan, is not an asset but a liability. So you have to understand the difference between asset and liability and then evaluate where you stand in terms of your net worth. A report by Credit Suisse claims average net worth of Indians in age 16,500 US dollars or 13 lakh 86,000 if I calculate it at the rate of 84 rupees per dollar. Median net worth of Indians is 3,755 or 3 lakh 15,420. 92% Indians have wealth below 10,000 or 8 lakh 40,000. Now coming back to the question, who is rich in India in terms of net worth? For example, in the US, income of $5 lakh yearly keeps you in the top 1% in terms of net worth. 1 million investable amount along with your primary house qualifies you as a rich person. Only 3% Americans have $1 million plus at the time of 1 million plus at the time of retirement. Now there is a fair criticism that investable money as a concept has been propagated by the mutual fund industry, brokerage houses, because all that they need is your money to invest. So they are not bothered about your other assets. There is no conclusive scientific data based research, but most of the economists believe that $1 million in terms of purchase power parity and not absolute terms qualifies you to be in the top 1% rich club in the rest of the world, and India is no exception. Purchase power parity is an economic tool that compares how much prices in respective countries have to pay for the same goods and services. Dollar to rupee purchase power parity stands at 20.66 as per International Monetary Fund website. So $1 million value in rupee in purchase power parity stands at 2,660,000 rupees. Another report by Global Knight Frank keeps the benchmark even lower to be in India's top 1%. It says $1,75,000 or 1,47 lakh rupees qualifies Indians as top 1%. Now take a pause and think about it. Do you really feel rich with this net worth? Does this much amount, even added with your own house, makes you really rich in any of the top tier cities of India? It actually sounds funny that a crorepati is struggling in India to be middle class, and in most of the cases is actually into relative poverty. Think of it this way: how quickly is the value of money going down? There are more flaws with this theory, and net worth could be a misleading factor also, since Indians traditionally keep their wealth in fixed assets like real estate and gold. One may be asset rich but liquidity poor. Wealth is about purchasing power and economic mobility. For example, one of my corporate clients in Bangalore sends me a car pickup. During the course of discussion with the driver, I was amazed to know that he has a landed property at Rajaji Nagar, closer to Orion Mall, where every other builder is selling in the neighborhood at the rate of 20,000 per square feet apartment. When I calculated his land price, only it was worth more than 8 crores, but he is working on a meager salary of 40,000 per month. When reminded about his net worth, he seemed reluctant to sell his ancestral property because of emotional reasons. More importantly, Indian capital markets do not enjoy the kind of trust that we find in matured markets like the US, UK or Singapore, where people keep significant amount invested. So while net worth is a better tool to evaluate the financial standing, it is not error-free in the Indian context. That brings to the third benchmark of assessment of rich: financial freedom as benchmark. And financial freedom comes with passive income. That is the real indicator of wealth creation and preservation that makes you real rich. It doesn't matter how much you earn or what is your net worth. The critical issue here is whether you know the art and science of wealth creation and preservation. And that is what makes you truly rich in any country and in any given economy. Real rich are those who have passive income, and that passive income is greater than your burn rate. You earn more with your investments than what you spend. This is by far the best benchmark to assess who is rich and who is not. And yes, you are a permanent member of top 1% club of India with no threat of losing your job and income or possibility to witness your net worth erosion due to inflation or any other factor. Please note that richness is misunderstood with lifestyle and how we carry ourselves in public view. More often, lifestyle is not defined and derived by one's net worth. Rather, it is the person's way of way of living, running cash in hand, his upbringing and culture, which decides how rich he is appearing to the outside world. In a debt-trapped society, lifestyle is not necessarily the true financial status of the person. There is always more than what meets the eyes. Most of the people who are flaunting themselves as rich on YouTube are not rich. They are showing off their richness to sell you something. And yes, I have not taken Ambani's and Adani's of the world as they are not representative of the financial well-being of the large universe of Indians. Nor have I take those in calculation who have got $1 million plus in absolute terms. That is 8 crore 40 lakh rupees. They are HNIs and ultra high net worth individuals, but these rich don't have luxury of time that comes with real wealth of passive income and financial freedom. They are also slaves to their pursuit of richness. Ask yourself whether you want to be a rich person or a wealthy person with financial freedom. More importantly, whether you understand the difference. If you understand and still wish to be rich, I have nothing more to offer than good luck. What are your thoughts on this? Feel free to write it to us. Thanks for watching.